What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Now in this video we are going to be building an UberEats client with Adalo. And so this is going to be a fairly comprehensive video. We're going to be using some advanced functionality of Adalo that I really haven't talked about before, but it is important in order to build this rather complex and useful app. Now before we begin, I want to show you a diagram here of things that you should know, kind of the overall view, the overall flow of the app that we're going to be building. So the first thing is this part right here. This is the data types, right? This is kind of an overview, high-level guide of how exactly, different pieces of data are going to interact with other pieces of data. And so we have here a customer, they choose a restaurant, they choose a food item, and then they place an order. A business owns a restaurant and then it's selling different food items. So a business can own multiple restaurants and each restaurant can obviously sell multiple food items. And so this is the main flow. We have a business, restaurant, food item. The next flow I want to show you is our kind of the app flow. And this is very, very important. Whenever you're building an app, you want to define this flow, and this is like crucial, okay? Because if you do not do this, you're going to have a lot of issues when it comes to actually building or implementing the app. And so in this flow, we have a list of restaurants. And you can think about this flow as different screens on the mobile app. Okay, so we have a list of restaurants. We have a list of food items. We have an add to cart screen. We have a purchase screen. We have a checkout. And we have a confirmation page. And here I have the name of an action, right? So we have a list of restaurants. From this view to this view, they actually have to pick a restaurant. And then from this view to this view, they actually need to pick food items. Every other view is basically an action view. There's a button that they press that says purchase, and they go to the purchase, they do a checkout, they do a confirmation page. So this is your basic kind of this flow, this app flow. Whenever you're building any kind of app, you really want to define this because it's going to make building the actual app a lot easier. Now, having talked about this, let's go in and start to build the app, okay? And so we're going to be using Adalo, which in my opinion is one of the easiest ways to build a mobile app. I'm not an affiliate for Adalo or anything like that, but just using it and building my own apps, it's really easy. And so you're going to go into Adalo, you're going to sign up for a free account, and you're going to be on the screen here. Now, I already have a sample app here, and what you need to do is you need to go in here and you need to click on Create New App. We're going to do a native mobile app. We're going to click Next. We're going to choose a blank just to keep things simple. We're going to play with the color scheme. I like blue, so how about this blue color? That looks quite nice. And we are going to call this James Uber just to keep things interesting, okay? We're going to hit Create, and that's going to create a skeleton for our app. Now, what it has created is a sign-up form and a login form. Okay, now you can remove these or you can keep them. These are optional. If you keep them, you're going to have login functionality, which means that whenever you're building this app and whenever the person is using the app, you will have access to their login information. So you can save it when it, as part of an order, as part of something else. If you remove it, you're just not going to have it. So we're going to keep this because I think this is good functionality. And anyway, if we were actually building a real production app, we would definitely be keeping this login functionality here. So I'm going to make the screen a little bit smaller so everything fits in. And you can do that by pressing Command minus or Control minus, depending if you have a Mac or a PC. So you can do this, which makes it very useful and very convenient. So before we actually go out and build this app, it's very important to define our database, okay? In the default database, we have a collection of users, but we need more, right? We need more things. Users is just not enough. The first thing we need to do is we need to add a new collection of restaurants, okay? We are building an app that can potentially have multiple restaurants, not just one restaurant. And so we need a collection of restaurants. We're going to hit Enter. And we are going to define. So we have a restaurant, we have a name. It can have other things, which I'm going to talk about in a second because we need to build more collections. And then we're going to link them together. So the next collection you want to build is menu items. Okay, menu items are exactly what it says. These are the items that are going to be on the menu for each individual restaurant. So we're going to call it menu items. And we have that. So we have name, and this is going to be the name of the menu item. So we have a name. We have maybe a description. Let's have a description here, text. Let's call it a description. We're also going to have a price. This is going to be a number. We're going to have a price. And we are going to have a link back to restaurant. So one restaurant can have multiple menu items. Okay, so we're going to add a property, a relationship to restaurants. And we're going to say one restaurant, multiple menu items. We're going to hit done. And so that way, menu items links back to a restaurant, which is going to be important because we don't want menu items just to be in a vacuum, but all by their own. Okay, and later on, we're going to be messing with this. We're going to be adding more fields, more properties as we are coming along, as we are building the app. So we have users, restaurants, menu items. We have that. The next thing that I want to do, I want to also add an order collection, okay? Because when the person is going to be actually placing an order, we need to store their current orders somewhere. So we're going to call it orders. And we have a name. We are going to say, so an orders, the next property we need to add is an order item, okay? Because an order item is the actual item that they decided to order. So if they want to get a burger, a cheeseburger, or some kind of a burger. So let's say they decided to order a burger. We need to place it as part of an order. It's not going to be a menu item. It's going to be an order item. Okay, and so we're gonna come in here. We are gonna add an order items collection. Okay, this is gonna be order items. It's gonna be a separate collection that's only gonna be tied to orders. And so when we go in here, we can add a property, and we are gonna do order items. Okay, very important. An order can have multiple order items. We have that. The next thing that you want to do is that when you have an orders here, an orders collection, you also want to add a menu item. That way we know how to associate a specific order item to a corresponding menu item. Because when they are ordering things, this order item is basically a copy of the menu item. And that is why we need to add a menu item here. So we're going to do menu items, and we are going to make a menu-to-menu relationship here as well. And so now we kind of have a beginning of an app. And later on, we might need to add more fields. And we will do that as we go along. Right now, I want to add some data here. So for instance, we have a restaurant, we have a name, menu items. We can add an address, we can have an image. So for instance, let's add a couple of more things. We're going to have an image here, and we're going to call this icon. And we may also want a text. This could be an address. These are all optional, right? You don't need this. The only thing that you really need is a menu item and the name. That is the only thing you really need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this name, address, icon organized like this, and then you have a menu item at the bottom. And now we can actually add a couple of records. So let's go ahead and add two restaurants here, okay? The first restaurant I want to add is a burger restaurant. I actually love burgers, and that is why that was the first idea that came to my mind. So we are going to call it James Burgers, and the address is going to be 1000 West Lane, any city, any state. Something like this. We're going to hit save, and now we have the first. And the second restaurant, we're going to do a Thai restaurant, okay? We're going to call this Bangkok Fusion. Okay, that's actually a pretty cool name. And this is going to be 2000, any lane, any city, any state. Okay? We're going to hit save. And now we have two restaurants here. Now we also need to add menu items. Okay? That is the last thing that we really need to add is the menu items. Okay? And so we're going to go to our records. We're going to add a new menu item. So this menu item, we're going to add 2 burgers and 2 Thai dishes. Okay? So the first burger is going to be a double beef burger, greatest burger you've ever tried, something like this. Price is gonna be $12.99. Restaurant is gonna be James Burgers. It's not part of any order, so we're not gonna select that. We're gonna hit save, and then we're gonna add a chicken burger, greatest chicken burger in the world. Price is going to be $8.99, a little bit cheaper. James Burger, save. Okay, this is done. Now we also want to add 2 more menu items for the Thai restaurant, right? We're going to go back to records, add a new menu item. We're going to call this Bangkok Pad Thai. Nice. Great. The best, greatest Pad Thai outside of Thailand. Bangkok. Okay, it's going to be $5.99. Select this Bangkok Fusion. Hit save. Let's add another item here. And this is going to be, let's say this is going to be Tom Yum, which is a type of soup. Awesome spicy Thai soup. And it's going to be $4.99. Okay, restaurant is going to be Bangkok Fusion. Okay, so now we have 4 dishes here. Okay, we have 4 dishes and 2 restaurants. Now we can start actually building the app because we have something to display it with. And so we have the first screen here. And remember, looking at our diagram, we have a list of restaurants, list of food items, add to cart, purchase, checkout. All of this is very, very straightforward. What is going to be tricky is when you start to actually need to save your orders, save the order items, confirm, show the confirmation page, stuff like that. It's going to get a little bit trickier, as you'll see in the video. And so we have the first screen. I'm going to call this restaurants. I'm going to call this, instead of home, we are going to call this restaurants. Okay, because this is the restaurant screen. And we are going to add a component. We are going to do a simple list just to keep things simple. Obviously, you can add anything you want. You can create your custom components. You can do whatever you want here. But that is not the issue here. The issue is making it all work together. So what is this a list of? This is a list of restaurants. Filter is all restaurants. That is absolutely fine. We have this. You can also do something like this. So you can also add another component. If you go to lists, you can add a card list, which is actually, maybe we'll just do that. So let's go back to lists, and we can do an image list. We can do a card list, something like this, which looks actually kind of cool because it displays the image. If we have some images, it's going to display. And so the next thing you want to do is you want to configure it. You want it to be displaying correctly. So you want to click on it. And you want to say, what is this a list of? You're going to say restaurants. Okay, now it knows what's it a list of. Then you can go to title, and it's going to try to match it correctly. So it pre-filled the restaurant name for the title. For the subtitle, we're not going to have a subtitle. For the body, we're going to have a description. So we're going to go in here. We are going to go to, it says current restaurant. We're going to say, yeah, we can have an address. We actually don't have a description. We can add a description. So let's just use an address here. And then you can configure cart styles, etc., etc. And then when they click on it, we are going to have another screen. So we're going to click this. This is going to be a simple, actually, no, we're going to add a screen here. Add screen. We're going to add a blank screen. And we're going to call this menu items. Okay? We're going to create the screen. Because the idea is that when they click on the restaurant, we want to show them the menu. Okay, very important. This is menu items. And then we're going to have a simple list. Keep things very, very simple. Actually, let's do this. Let's copy this one right here because it has a nice bar and we can configure it. So we're going to remove this. Actually, we can even keep the same. We can keep the same, or we can, the same list style, or we can rename it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it the same. I'm going to change a couple of things. So we're going to go to the app bar, and we are going to, first of all, we're going to rename this. We're going to rename, it's not going to be restaurants 2, it's going to be menu items. Here, we're going to hit done. And the home, it's not going to say home anymore. It's actually going to say menu items. Okay, you can call it whatever you want. I just want to be consistent. And this is going to be a list of, well, first of all, we need to make sure that we are linking them together. In order to do that, you want to click on this, and you want to scroll down, and you want to add an action, okay? And the action is going to be a link to menu items, okay? It's going to be a link. And what are we passing? We're passing in current restaurant as the data. Okay, the transition I want to do is slide left, and we are passing current restaurant, or we can do slide right. And then you can go in here and you can actually say this is actually a collection of menu items, right? And this is current restaurant menu items, not all menu items, right? Current restaurant menu items. And then you can configure all of these items here. You can scroll down and you can go to title. It already knows menu item name. For the body, this is going to be not a restaurant address. It's going to be current menu item description. That's what we want. We're going to remove all this. Now it knows that the subtitle, actually, we're not using it. So we can remove it, or you can configure it to something else. And then the image is going to be current restaurant icon. Okay, it already knows it. Unfortunately, we don't have any images, and that is why it's not gonna show up. But whenever you have images, if you upload an image in your database here, it's gonna show the images as well. So now we have a simple app. We have a list of restaurants. They click on the restaurant, and it's gonna show them the menu, the items, right? And so if you go into preview, it should work correctly. And so we're going to log in. We already have an account. And so here I am signed up for the app. I'm using the app. And as you can see, we have the restaurant name. We have a subtitle, which is a field we're not using. And then we have some text here. And this is supposed to be an address. We just need to remove this body text because it's actually getting shown along with the address. But if we click on Bangkok Burgers, we're gonna see the burgers here, right? And so if we preview it, let's say we go to James Burgers, we're going to see the burgers here. I actually wanted to slide the other way, so I'm going to make it slide left. We're going to go in here. We have menu. We want it to be slide left. Okay, so actually, let's fix this real quick. This is the body, and it has some extra text. We're going to remove it. I actually removed it, but I guess I forgot to save it. Yeah, so now it should be fine. Now it says restaurant address. And so if you go back here, if we do this now, it's showing it correctly. And if we hit on a restaurant, if we click on any of these restaurants, it's going to do a slide left, and it's going to show the actual menu items that we can pick from. Now, what we need to do on this screen here is that we need to add some functionality so that the person who is actually using the app can start their order process, can start to actually make an order. And for that, what we want to do is, first of all, there's a couple of things we need to do. We want to add a button. So there's a couple of buttons that you can add. You have first, second, first button, second button, first icon, second item. So what we want to do is we want to first add a button, and we want to add an action for this button. Okay, and this button is actually not going to say button 1. It's going to say add item. Okay, they can actually add the items here, right? And the action is going to add the items to their order, right? This is very, very important. We haven't started the order process yet, but before they can actually add an item to the order, we actually need to have an existing order, because otherwise we are going to be adding it to a non-existing order, and that's not going to work. And so the way we're going to do it is that once they go in here and they click on the restaurant, the idea is it's going to start a new order. So that way, when they are ready to add an item, they're going to have an order that they can add an item into. And so when they click on this, not only are we going to have a link here, we're also going to have another action. And this is going to create a brand new order, right? So if you click on create order, we have a name, right? We're just going to do this. We're going to say order dash, and then we're going to display we're going to say an order count. Okay, that way it's going to be a unique order, order 1, order 2, depending on the order. And we are actually creating a brand new order here. And so if you go to the screen here, this last screen here, and you go to available data, we're actually passing two pieces of data. We're passing the current order that we just created, this blank order, and we are also passing the current restaurant so that we can use this data on these forthcoming, these subsequent screens, if you will. And that way, when they add an item, so this item here, now we can add this item to the order that we just created. So this button here, we're going to go back to this first button, and we are going to add an action. And this is what is this going to do? This is going to create an order item as part of that order that we're creating. So we're going to go to create. We're going to do, if we expand this, we have our menu item, but we also have an empty order. But if we click on this, we can actually select the current order that we have. We can go to more and we can choose current order. And that way, these order items are going to be assigned to the order that we just created in the previous screen. And we can hit done. Now, we also need a button here. And this is very important because this button is going to lead us to the next screen. And the idea is we want to place order. And then on the next screen, we're going to show a confirmation dialog in case they want to, double check, maybe delete some items and before ordering, before actually placing the order. So we need a button. And so what we want to do is we are going to go to our menu items. We're going to go back here. We are going to add a component and we're going to search for a button. So here's a button, most used. We're going to drag it here. This button, I don't think it really needs an icon. It's just going to say confirm order. Okay? Because at this point, they have not ordered yet. It's not an order button. It's a confirmation. We're going to expand it, center it. And it's going to lead them to the next screen. And on the next screen, we're going to show the items that they chosen. Okay? So we're going to make a copy of the screen here. And now we have a next screen. We're going to call this confirmation or order confirmation, whatever you want. So we're going to go in here. We're going to call this order confirmation, okay? And the idea is we're going to list the items that they've selected on the previous screen. Now, I don't want to use this list item here. A simple basic one is going to work a lot better. So what we want to do is we want to go to add component. We want to add a simple list. We're going to have something like this. The button is going to be different. It's going to say place order. Now that they confirmed it. And this is actually gonna list the order items, not the menu items that we have here. Here it's gonna list the order items, right? Now, before we can actually configure this, we need to make sure that they're linked together, right? So we're gonna go into this confirm order button, and we want to make sure we're passing the right data to this order confirmation, right? So actually, this should not say menu items. It should actually, let's go to title. It should say order items, right? Because this is important not only for the user, but actually for myself and for yourself as somebody who is building this app. That way you can keep it consistent and you know exactly what's going on. These are menu items. These are order items. Different thing, very important. So we're going to go to this confirm button here. We're going to add an action. This is going to be a link to order confirmation. And what are we passing? This is going to be a slide left. And what are we passing? We're passing our current order and current restaurant, right? We're going to go to done. Now we can go back here and we can say current order items, right? If you don't have that link, you're not going to see this option. All you're going to see is all order items. This is what you want. You want current order items. Another thing that I want to do is this is kind of standard procedure. When they see this list, they cannot add a new one, but they can delete it. They can remove some things, right? So what you want to do is you want to scroll down. You want to go to this right section here, and you want to select it. Once you do that, you're going to have a bunch of icons here. And I don't want to do an add. I want to do delete. So I want to do something like this. If you type delete forever, we have a kind of a garbage can here. And that looks good to me. And what's this going to do? It's going to delete this current item inside this list. So we're going to add an action here. And this is going to delete current order item. Very, very simple. We're going to hit done. And we are done. Very, very, very easy. We're pretty much done here. Now, the last screen we want a confirmation screen. This kind of final, this last screen. And this is going to be a final screen. Final screen. You can call it what you want. And all it's going to do is congratulations, or we can actually call it a congratulations screen. Let's call it a congratulations. And we're going to say congratulations in the app bar. The title is going to be, congratulations. And we're just going to say your order has been accepted. That's it. We're going to add some text. Very, very simple. And we are going to say, and that's all we have. You can make it bigger if you want. You have some formatting. Let's make it something like this. You can have, you can change the settings. You can center it, align center. Whatever you feel is a good is a good look for your app, and we're going to remove this button. And obviously you can add, you'll be able to add more functionality. You know, always with these apps, you can take it as far as you want. But I wanted to show you exactly how to get this to work, okay? And so now we have our basic flow. We have a list of restaurants. They go to the restaurant, and right away they have call to action. They can add these items, and then they can confirm the order. Or we can say start order or confirm order. I'm just going to leave it to confirm order. And after they click on this, they're going to see the items that they chose. They can remove them, and then they can finally place the order, and the order has been accepted. Now, one thing I want to add right now is, this is something that I just realized right now, is we need an order status, right? So we're going to go back to database. We have our orders. Let's add another field. This is going to be a status field here, status. And the idea is, you know, this order, as it's moving along, it's going to have different status. So let me explain to you what I mean. When we create a new order, when they click on this, they're creating a new order. This is going to have a status of new, brand new order. Nothing happened to it. Nobody got paid. Nobody's creating any burgers. Nobody's, you know, tossing burgers on the grill yet. Now, when they go to confirm order, we are going to change things around, right? We have a link to order confirmation. We're going to go in here, and we are going to, you know, something new is going to happen, right? And then when they click on place order, we are going to change, we're going to have another action. First of all, it's going to link to the screen. This is very important. We haven't created this link yet, so we're going to add an action here. Link to our congratulations screen. Very simple. We're passing all this data here, but we're also going to have another action, and this is going to update our current order. And we are going to change the status to processing or in process, whatever you want. Processing, okay? And then later on in the back end, when the order is created, you can, you know, you can change the status again to created or processed or whatever you want. So remember, we have our restaurants. We have the menu item for that specific restaurant. When now the order is created, right? When they click on this, the order is created. We have this create action here. Status new, no order items. When they click on the order item here, we have this first button that essentially creates an order item for the current order, okay? And then they go to confirm order. We have a link to the confirmation screen, right? And so here, it's basically linked. We can also have another action if you want. We can update the order, current order, and we can change the status to confirmed. Or pending, something like this, pending. Okay? And then when they place the order, we can update the order. We can actually say confirmed or pending, whatever, or processing. Really, it's up to you. We can say actually processing sounds better to me. So let's test out the app. We're going to hit preview here. The app is loading. We have Bangkok Fusion. We have James Burgers. Let's say I want to order some burgers. I'm going to hit on burgers. And it's showing me the existing burgers on the restaurant's menu. Let's say I want both. I'm going to hit add item here. I'm going to hit confirm order. And this is the confirmation screen here. Double beef burger, greatest burger you've ever tried. Chicken burger, greatest chicken burger in the world. And this is, it took this data from the menu item, but these are order items. So we can actually remove any of this if you want. So let's say I want to remove chicken burger. And then I only have the double beef burger. I'm going to hit place order. And congratulations, your order has been accepted. Let's say I want to do the same thing for the Thai food. Let's say I want to order some Thai food. I'm going to run the app again. I'm going to hit choose Bangkok Fusion. I have these Bangkok Fusion menu items. I'm going to add both of them. Add item. I'm going to hit confirm order. And now I have 2 items that I chose. So I can delete. Let's say I only want Tom Yum. I'm going to place order, and my order has been accepted. And so that is how you build a very, very simple Uber Eats app with restaurants, with menu items. You can also display a price. You can display images. You can do a lot of interesting things. You can also confirm when they want to pick up. You can show a map. You can show a lot of other additional functionality if you choose. You can take it as far as you want. And also, when you're building this app, you can go to the database and you can look at how the data is actually created. So we have 2 records here. We have 4 records. We have 5 records here. We have 7 records in order items. how the data is created. And this will help you debug it to see if it's doing what you want it to be doing. All right, guys. So I really hope you've gotten value here. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you want to see a more detailed, more advanced version of this. Maybe we can add more functionality into this app. If not, let me know in the comments below if you want me to build some kind of other app. Maybe you're working on some project and you're stuck somewhere. I would love to hear your feedback and your comments, and that will help me to create more videos in the future. All right, so that is all I wanted to show you for today. I really hope you've gotten value here. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This channel is all about no code, building apps without writing a single line of code. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.